You know, I was hoping my glorious return to FNAF content would be a bit more positive. YouTube is very quick to remind me that my FNAF videos do better than the videos I'd say are way better. And while I was planning to have a bit of fun doing my first FNAF video since January, this event came up, and I couldn't in good conscience make any content on the series without addressing this issue. For context, I'm on my third rewrite of the certain FNAF fan game review. I've left FNAF 101 on red, and then most prevalently, I'm chest deep in a FNAF main series review and ranking video in celebration of its 10th anniversary alongside working on a teaser for my FNAF fan game. I'm a busy guy on a time crunch for this channel alongside my actual job, and before you say boo-hoo 21-year-old who still lives with his parents, I'm not trying to complain and I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm saying this because when I wrote and recorded my FNAF ranking video about 2 weeks ago, I thank this series and community for giving me the experience it has. It's left a footprint in my life the way few other franchises like Metal Gear Solid and Star Wars have, regardless of the overall quality of the series. Here I am now, wondering if that was such a good idea though. Earlier this week, a public demo for FNAF In Real Time was released, a fan-made deluxe enhancement of the original FNAF in Unity that made the AI of the animatronics work in real time rather than just teleporting PNGs. And guys, as someone who doesn't really care for FNAF 1, this was amazing to me. It was so cool watching the animatronics move so naturally yet haunting as they went to places they really couldn't before. They had so many tricks up their sleeves. And I had an extreme urge to keep track of every animatronic at every moment, which drained my power. This is not a feeling I've had in a literal decade. Heck, this game looks like my nightmares in 2014 about FNAF. Now, it's not perfect. My game crashed, I found a few bugs, and it's still just FNAF 1 at the end of the day. But it's made me feel positive things I've never felt towards the original release. And there's a real-time mode where you survive for 6 real-life hours, which is just streamer bait if I've ever seen it. And that's just a demo. The trailer teased so many new secrets and segments. Things were looking great for this game. But then on Tuesday, July 16th, Taran at Real Time Studios had announced on Twixer that they had been sent, we're gonna call it a piñata, on his personal account. And thus they were scared to continue the project. And I wasn't insanely excited for this game like I was for some other games that have been canceled, but that just hurt. Now, to clarify, Taran hasn't said that the project is completely canceled. They just said that they were stepping away until some time, which basically means postponed until further notice. They also said that they just weren't well, not inherently because of the bad reviews of Real Time, hate comments, or the piñata, but that certainly didn't help and was most likely the tipping point. And let me say, first and foremost, good on you, dog. You worked hard to make something completely for free for a community that you love, and they spat in your mouth. And I've been in that seat, just trying to do something for people and they call you a swine without a second glance. You didn't hurt them, you didn't force them to pay money for a game that spits in the face of everything that made the series memorable. You just did your best to do a good thing for this community, and they thought it was okay to completely dehumanize you because some of them didn't like it. Oh, boo-hoo, a free game made in someone's free time wasn't Game of the Year material. And from my experience, whenever somebody thinks it's okay to do that crap, they usually don't have an answer from me whenever I ask what they've achieved in the past 5 years. Now, in my perfect world, this would be something where we can see this and think this is a few bad eggs who probably don't shower and go on with our lives making cool projects in this community. But we don't live in that world. We live in the world where people send death threats over Twixer because they made a joke, fans are associated with the worst members of their fandoms, and somebody thought the Acolyte was worth $180 million. And to some of you, this is all probably sounding really similar to last year's FizzNom controversy, which I'm not an expert on, so I'm just going to gloss over it, but resulted in Phil being booted from FNAF Plus's development team and ultimately separating him and several other YouTubers from the community as a whole, which just left a massive scar on this entire franchise. And sadly, social media loves locking in on the worst of whatever tribe and setting it as the standard. Just look at Florida, man. And fandoms are no different. FNAF, Sonic the Hedgehog, Hazbin Hotel, and Undertale all have a notoriously obsessed and toxic fan bases in the eyes of many because of DeviantArt alone. And I'm at least half of these. I'm not remotely in the ballpark of some of these artists. Heck, Hazbin Hotel cosplayers terrify me. Now let me clarify something. I don't expect this video to change any minds. I'm not trying to act as some internet vigilante beating up trolls in the night. Goodness no. I don't think somebody will see this on their way to committing a hate crime and have a complete change of heart. That's not how the human race works. But what I can do is set a standard for myself. If I ever praise a franchise or fandom, that does not mean I love seeing people send piñatas over a disagreement of whether FNAF 4 is better than 3. I do not support the actions of a company or creator because I said I like their content. I can mostly separate the art from the artist provided their bad actions don't actively bleed into their works. And thus, there's not really a reason in not making FNAF content simply because of something the creator had nothing to do with. So when my ranking video eventually comes out, and I say thank you to Scott and the community for this franchise, I do not mean whoever did this crap. I mean, people like Taran who love to create these projects with no promise of reimbursement or even enjoyment from others. That's what I love. That being said, this surprisingly did hurt me on a larger level, most likely due to the stress behind making this video, rough working conditions, and just other recent events. I'm still going to continue with it, but I think I'm going to take it a little easier alongside my fan game, because I'm doing that for myself more than anything else. But I do feel heavily discouraged now. But that's life, I guess. Also, while I'm on the subject, and to avoid any drama later on, do not make any statement to anyone in my name. I'm not betting on that happening, but the odds are never zero. Do not harass anybody because they made fun of me on the internet. Taran, if that's how you pronounce your name, if by some chance you're watching, you have my sympathies. I hope things go better for you. My name is AJ Plays, and I'll see you in a hopefully more positive video soon.